Their line has gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun, which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chambers, and rejoiceth as a strong man to run a race. His going forth is from the end of the heavens, and his circuit unto the end of it, and there is nothing hid from the heat thereof. These chambers are the 12 constellations that's on the ecliptic, the 12 major constellations. Now, Ahyah has established 360 days in a year, leaving the sun in each constellation for 30 days, equaling 360. He also inserts one day every 3 months, or every 90 days, for a season change. On that one day of season change, the sun keeps the same latitude and longitude as the day before it, but it is established at the end of the 90-day period and not at the end of the year, so giving us 364 days, which is totally divisible by 7, giving us 52 perfect Sabbaths. We can see in Genesis 1 that the idea of a count is nothing new to Ahyah, the Most High Creator, for he established his days 1 through 7 and the rest on the 7th. And the body language of Leviticus 23 is the same way. On the first day, on the second day, 6 days you shall do this. 7th day is a Sabbath. On the 14th day of the first month, on the 15th day, unto the 7th day is a holy convocation. And ye shall count from the morrow after the Sabbath, even to the tomorrow of the 7th Sabbath you shall number 50 days. And this count cannot be acquitted for any other way but to start from day 1. And I know that a year starts over every year because we read in Leviticus 25:11, a jubilee shall be that 50th year. Be unto you, ye shall not sow neither reap. But either way, we see that a jubilee is the 50th year. So years are counted separately, meaning the Sabbath is counted separately with a reset of 1 every year. At the end of the 364 days, the clock resets for Sabbaths and feasts. In Genesis 1:14, we read that 2 lights are established in the Shamaim. And in verse 16, we read which one is for what. And it reads, And Ahyah made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. So here he establishes that the sun is the light that he created to establish a day. And we read in Leviticus 23:3, 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath day of rest, a holy convocation. Now, these are days. It does not say 6 nights shall that work be done, and on the 7th night shall be a Sabbath day of rest. No, it says 6 days, and on the 7th day, and the sun establishes a day. Now, let us see how we can establish day 1 to be able to count the 7 to have a Sabbath, and then on to 14 of the first month to have a proper Passover, which is also a Sabbath day. What would you do right now if everything went dark? No electronics, no watches, no clocks, no calendars, not even a man to tell you what day it is. How do you find day 1? To be able to locate the seventh-day Sabbath, to be able to locate the Passover, and then unleavened bread, until the 50th day of the Omer count, to Shavuot, to not miss the outpouring of the Spirit. And on to trumpets, atonement, and in Sukkot, the wedding feast. How would you establish these things? With no way available except one, and that is to look up. In Psalms 19:5, these chambers being spoke of are the 12 constellations, the houses, and this is what the sun passes through, 30 days each, and at the end of the year it resets and starts back in the first constellation, which also tells us the age that we're in. And ever since the coming of the Messiah, for the first time, we have been in the age of Pisces. So on the first day of the true year, the sun will rise in Pisces. Although you cannot see the sun while it's sitting in its particular house, you can see its antithesis, its opposite, rising in the east as the sun goes down in the west. And for Pisces, it is Virgo that you will see. And Virgo is what we're looking for to give us a hint to watch for the sign of the first day of the year. And so it goes with the rest of the constellations. When the sun is in Aries, you will see Libra. When the sun is in Taurus, you will see Scorpio. When the sun is in Gemini, you will see Sagittarius. When the sun is in Cancer, you'll see Capricornus. When the sun is in Leo, you will see Aquarius. And the same is for their opposite. And now, to establish day one using the constellations. Now, mind you, this is nothing you can just run outside and do and jump into. It's not a simple task. It requires work. It requires studying. It requires understanding. And it will be different for each person according to where they live. You must study it out and seek it out to have knowledge. Advice right now is to utilize technology that we have to memorize the constellations, their positions from where you are in your hometown. It's all about the perspective of your eyes, what you see where you live. Like Lavana lives in Indiana. She will see different than Christina, who is in Nebraska, who will see different than Robert, who is in Washington, who will see different than me, who is in Arkansas. But once this is established one time and you keep the count, it will be easier to find and establish day one for you, year after year after year. Now, being in the northern hemisphere, at evening, when you start seeing Virgo rise in the east and you see the star Spica, you know to start rising up early in the morning and looking east before the sun rises and look for Pegasus. At this time, you also start timing your day and nights, looking for the equilux, not the equinox, which is based on a global earth and does not truly exist and never would have been used by our forefathers. The equilux is the day that is equal day and equal night. You watch for this time, and then when we see Pegasus rising in the east early in the morning, the star Alganib on the last day of the year will barely rise up above the horizon just before the sun, and it will flicker, signaling that it is the last day of the year, day 364. And the next morrow, you get up early in the morning again to look for Alganib in Pegasus, and it will be a steady shining star for the whole entire year until the last day once again. When you see that day that the star flickers not, it is day one. You may begin your count.